Hello, here we are again on Saturday Night Live Zoom. And where else would we want to be? This is wonderful to have the family members, inspiring each other and rooting each other and continuing on this crazy, crazy, crazy lunatic path of less is more, the art of subtraction. It's pretty interesting when people start going through these transformations. It's just such a shock. Some people you just can't handle it, and others just embrace it and run with it because it's so. What's the word I'm looking for? Revealing. So revealing to allow us to remember truly who we are and where we come from, and it's just awesome to be able to get that connection when we dive deep within the abyss of our souls, and that's the key here. Trust your soul. Don't trust in white jackets and paper and man-made laws. Trust in your soul, and you'll find all your answers you're looking for. Power of creation, don't ever underestimate it. You're here alive because of creation. And it's awesome. It's awesome to connect with all the wonderful souls and watch and assist everybody going through these major metamorphoses. It's just a delight to watch everybody. Sometimes it's just jaw-dropping to see transformations in people. And it's just, whoa, look at what the soul can do. Rana, you take over. I'm done.
Nothing to say. Just enjoying, right? Yeah.
So we're coming up to the Christmas holidays, which not everybody celebrates, but it's a big celebration around the world. And raise the awareness of Christ consciousness instead of thinking about eating and gift giving and all that stuff. The gift of giving is wonderful, but it doesn't have to be material things. There's so many other things we can give, like plasma love always flowing.
Yeah.
The world needs more of that. And this is why we're being the change we want to see, so we can keep that plasma love always flowing. It's so important. So many people are missing love in their lives, and you can see the outcome in our societies of people, fighting each other, arguing each other, killing each other, and whatever else they're doing, instead of being in peace, balance, correct conduct. So people need more loving. No matter how people treat us, let's send them all the love we can. We don't have to be around them and everything, but we can move away and send them all the love and continue on that path until they find some balance in their life, because those fields will get to them. No doubt. When you put that intent and emotion, it's done. It's instant. And this is how creation works. It doesn't work with the sense of how we look at it with a microscope in matter state. It works on a much higher order level with fields. And when we start training ourselves to remember that's where we come from, we start looking at the matter state of things in a whole different way. And because these are just the effects of what's happening on the other realm at the soul level. And that's the beauty of being able to see the transformations happen. The matter state is it's a heavy and it's got lag time. But it's not that things cannot happen instantaneously. It's just that we are not at the level to remember, I guess, how to do it instantaneously. So there's that lag time for things to start manifesting as the thought, intent, and emotion comes through. And it's wonderful to watch. Some people, you see things happen quicker than others, but it's going to happen if you commit and devote yourself to your soul. There's just no doubt with that awesomeness of creation. So who do we have on here? We have Mark. How you doing, Mark? And Inga and Ranjit. I guess everybody's getting ready for their busy holiday seasons. A lot of people. We went out early this morning for some shopping, and the stores were like zoos. It was insane. For some food, the grocery stores is just insane.
It's fun to watch. It's a very special time of the year in this country, so
yeah,
it's nice to see how different it is from every other day. You know?
Yeah, I wish it was like this all the time. People cared about each other more and this and that. It's like the amount of extra food people consume in these times is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be that way.
No, but it is. That's what most people are doing.
We also went shopping for food because we have 2 family gatherings in the next 3 days. And so we also bought some food, but it was healthy version, fruits and vegetables. And we're actually excited. We got some persimmons. Actually, we got 3 cases of persimmons. 1 for your mom and 2 for us in the next few days. And you tried it today?
Yeah, they were really, really ripe and marked down, and organic by chance.
These are the best ones, right? That come once a year.
Yeah, we've seen these ones coming once a year from this from this farm that grows them, I guess, in the U.S. and then they're gone. This is the persimmons are an interesting fruit. They can hang around the tree or fall down in the tree all through the winter in Italy, and then they're still edible. It's very it's a very stable fruit.
It's beautiful. It's like jam.
Yeah, like pudding jam. It's awesome fruit if you like them. They got to be ripe though. The what do they call the? There's the 2 types of, or there's more than 2 types of persimmon, but there's the round kind of donut flat type. Those ones there, you can eat them. The Oriental ones, those you can eat them even if they're hard. And also the Spanish vanilla type, those you can eat them also hard, but they're always better ripe. And then there's the other ones, the more
Hachia, is it? Hachia?
Something like that. Yeah, they're called.
Those
ones, they got to be ripe, or they leave that weird film inside your mouth, and they're not pleasant. But then again, fruit needs to be eaten right, no matter what. And this is the challenge.
It's good. It's a good fruit. What we got today, it's super ripe.
Yeah. In Italy, they were like giving them away. It was very cheap.
Yeah, I remember 1 box for like €1. It's amazing. Yeah. And they were like beautiful, like just perfectly ripe, ready to be eaten. We used to buy boxes.
We bought tons of them there. Yeah, the tree ripened olives, man. Oh, there's nothing like a tree ripened olive. If you've never had a tree ripened olive, you're missing out on that wonderful flavor.
And it's also special trees. The flavor is different in different trees, right? So
yeah, so many different olives. There's hundreds of varieties of every fruit. Hundreds. Yeah. Mangoes, there's like 400 varieties, and and everything else that has hundreds of grapes. I think there's like 900 varieties of grapes, if I remember correctly. It's like insane. It's the planet's abundant in everything, and we know in most areas and stores, that we have food coming through that way system. You're lucky if you see a few varieties. If you're lucky, a handful. sometimes you only get to see one variety of a certain fruit. But yeah, they had some nice fresh durians. They were tempting, but
Oh yeah.
the
Forget about it.
prices are insane these days.
We can Google it tomorrow. It looked perfect, right?
Yeah, there's some nice ones, nice ripe ones.
Mm.
So Ranjit, how's the eating going? You're frozen?
Yeah, look. Yeah, no. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, the eating's going well. Mainly stuck to the fruit, and I'm having just liquids.
Awesome.
I haven't had any cravings. There's no cravings or anything happening.
Wonderful.
It's a bit of a different experience from you feel the food, you feel the flavours in your mouth. So it's much, because your nerves are very heightened, aren't they? So you feel every taste, and I intentionally do it slow. Then you feel it go down your throat, and you feel it, go all the way down, and then I don't know, it's like it's talking to you, and you feel it. It's completely different experience, and then it just goes out of the down the tube it goes, and haven't had any problems with the bowels. The bowels are, you're right what you say, you get superpowers and no constipation, nothing. I don't know, I've had a really good experience, but I also focus on the blessings and what you receive more than anything else. I mean, you can focus on, feel a little bit inflamed, but I'm not. I don't think I am. But you feel like your face, and there's it's like you're changing again.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's a lot going on in breaking a fast over several weeks. There's a whole lot going on because you're putting food through the system again, and this is the challenge with some people. They think everything's going wrong. If you're eating correctly and minimal, and staying on least obstructive foods, just let it happen.
Yeah.
The body will regulate.
I've definitely deliberately. I've gone with the soul, and I've just said, okay, what are we doing? Like, I have no desire to have any vegetables. Like, I don't have any desire to have any greens or leafy greens, or I feel like doing a green smoothie, but I don't. There's nothing pulling me to that. It's pulling me towards. I've had a lot of mangoes, being Christmas, and because they're so ripe here in Brisbane. Yeah. So when you were talking about your food, I was going, well, what they do in Australia for Christmas, they have prawns and oysters and seafood and a lot of fruit, a lot of fruit. And they'll have pavlovas. It's and which is nice. So it doesn't matter where I go, there's going to be fruit available for me that I can eat. So it's a very my pain in my knees completely disappeared. As soon as I started eating the watermelon, it just went. It was really excruciating pain. And then, when you have those things, I just hand it over to the other dimension, because what are you going to do with it? Like, you can't do anything with it.
Nope.
And then I've had these sensations where my hands and the soles of my feet getting really hot. But it's, I don't know, Gina, I just sort of go, okay, whatever you want to do, soul. But right in here, it just burned. It was burning last night, and I haven't had that burning. Like, why here and why on the bottom of your soles of your feet? So I'm trying to ask the other dimension what that's all about. I just take it for what it is, and just enjoy it, and I'm just trying to think. I was going to ask you, because when I want to get on to the 1 day mini from the 2nd of January is when I want to start the 1 day mini, but I wanted to take some green powder, like in a smoothie type of thing, like wheatgrass or spirulina, and wanted to ask your opinion. I feel more things that are better for my digestive. I don't want my digestive system to work too hard, if you know what I mean. I want it to still be light. So when in March I go back onto full MFS, then I have a nice transition, and I understand why now people go back to heavy foods. Like I've had that question in my head, like after you do a long MFS, why do people go back to those heavy foods? So I can sense why that kind of may happen, and I could easily go that way. So that's why I need to go back on an MFS. So there's a couple of questions for you, Gino and Rana.
I would, green powders are fine. I would personally stay away from the spirulina, coralina, the fungus-based stuff. Those, if you make them into like tinctures, like we have some of those ingredients in some of our tinctures, you're using their energy. But in the matter state of things, what we found, there's actually, hi Mark, I'm glad you're doing okay. We found that there's a few people that did Master Fast that were taking them for a long time, and they were releasing ooze and ooze and ooze of green matter coming out. They've been doing that stuff for so long. So that ain't a good sign to me. That means that stuff is staying in the body, in the GI tract. So if you want to use those, make tinctures from them. I wouldn't take them in as the matter state. Use their energy, not that. But any other green powders, wild herbs, wild regular greens or whatever. Wheat grasses, all the other different grasses, barley, kamut, wild grasses. These are good. You can also, make your own, or go pick some wild herbs and just consume those. You can juice them. You can make smoothies, or you can make salads with all this stuff. I don't know if anybody's experimented going out and eating wild greens, you won't be able to eat a lot of them. Your body will say, okay, that's enough. Like, it just stops you. Whereas the regular agriculture greens that we consume, you can eat and eat and eat a lot more. They just don't have that power of the wild foods. That's why herbs are so powerful. They're just so powerful. And if you stick more on the herb side, your body will not allow you to eat a large amount. Whereas you stick to commercially grown food, your body will want to eat more. And it's just the way it is. Like when I was doing the ocean water stuff, selling that and growing a lot of sprouts, and in the summer I would grow all the vegetables and stuff in my garden. Those sprouts, it was very similar. Not as much as wild, but very similar. They were very powerful. You couldn't eat large amounts of them. Because I grew them with ocean water. I would, dilute the ocean water accordingly and feed them every day with that ocean water. And they were powerful. Like, if you watch my wheatgrass videos, I think we have it in one of them. When you're juicing the grass grown with ocean water versus the grass grown without, it's a night and day experience juicing. The one with the grown regularly in soil or whatever water, whatever people use, you can hear going through the juicer hardly no problem. When you put the one grown with ocean water, you hear the juicer straining. And at that time, many years ago, this was in the early 2000s, Omega just came out with their single auger juicer. That we have that one on our website, and we had purchased them. They were brand new, and we're juicing away the wheatgrass, and the things would break over and over. And everybody that was using these Omega juicers and growing their grasses with the ocean water were breaking their juicers too. And I'm calling Omega. I go, there's something wrong with this, And they're saying, we're not having a problem. What do you mean? And I kept sending it. He goes, you're the only ones having problems. And I go, it's this grass, because it was like night and day. Then you do a chew test. You grab regularly grown grass and you chew it. It almost, completely breaks down, almost turns to liquid. Then you get the ocean grown grasses and you chew it and you chew it, and it comes to a point it won't break down any further. It's so strong, like it's night and day difference. So, we were having people juicing and growing their sprouts and wheatgrasses, and they were getting, pretty good results, improvements in their health just doing that, adding that to their lifestyle. Because you're getting the energies of all the elements taken in through the plant, and that's very powerful. The other test that we did, I had taken, somebody did a picture of aura. They had a camera that takes pictures of aura with the grass growing with and without the ocean water, and the difference was like night and day, the aura on it. I don't know if I can dig out that photograph. I have it somewhere. But that was very interesting too. So, if your body is craving the greens, allow it to take that in. Don't worry about it. But the herbs, going on the herb side, the wild foods is much more powerful. You won't eat as much, and your body will love it. Anybody who has teeth problems, go out and chew wild greens. Chew wild greens, even if you don't eat them. Just chew them, spit them out, and chew them, spit them out. If you're walking in nature and any wild greens that you're familiar with, doesn't matter what it is, anything, dandelions, plantains, nettle, whatever, chew them and spit them out. And that'll be very beneficial if you do that regularly. It's very powerful. Like one of the, I mentioned it before too, very powerful herbs that grow pretty much everywhere, nettle and horsetail. These are Rudolf Steiner talked about those two plants. Spiritually, they're very powerful. There's so many, like all the herbs are powerful, but those two are very common and they grow pretty much anywhere. Dandelion, that grows pretty much anywhere as well. There's just so much things that we can consume.
Ranjit, you're thinking so to do 1 day a week of eating in January. And you're thinking instead of eating a salad to make a smoothie, right? But it's going to be a green smoothie without fruits, right? Yeah. I wouldn't put fruits with the greens.
You could put in the non-sweet fruits.
Yeah, like
peppers, cucumbers,
more like
tomatoes.
A salad soup, but raw soup. Yeah, and what about fruits? So you're gonna eat fruits and then something like raw soup, vegetable soup? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. I want to try and stay to liquid because my initial intention now is to be more liquid, in 2020, to stay on the path because I don't have, it's really interesting going off this fast where I actually don't have any desire to eat too much solid food. But and I can't believe even eating now how much, I still only slept 3 hours. I slept about 4 hours last night. The night before I slept 3 hours. I thought I would have slept more because of the eating. But in actual fact, I feel too, I don't know how to say this in a way that's not arrogant, right? I don't want to say it in that way. I have these feelings where I feel like I'm a superhuman. So I feel even better than I was, in my 20s. I mean, I've still got a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of deep cleansing, but I'm getting glimpses of this when the physical, I didn't come in here for getting the physical body all sorted. It was just all spiritual, right? But now then, it forced me to go into my body and realize it's this intelligence. And now I'm thinking, the body, why are we here, right? Because we have this human experience in this physical body. So why not have the body to its best form as you possibly can in this dimension here? And you have to tap into the other dimensions in order for that to happen, because I think the downward spiral could just be as quick as the upward spiral. But I've never had an upward spiral this fast, like that there's feelings that you have. And the way I'm able to focus on a lot of the good stuff in life, instead of allowing the other stuff to come in, I'm able to catch it. Like as soon as I had an emotional trigger yesterday because, there's these, I don't like language as a thing for me at the moment, where I don't want to talk, you know, legalistic language or corporate language, and our words are so limited, and we're words manipulate us, and it's all very from the other, you know, not the good side in most cases. So I'm choosing words that give power, right, that are much more powerful, and I want to stick to those words. So I'm listening to these other words from the corporate world or legal, and it doesn't matter, even wherever you are, you read them, you can read them in books and things like that. And it really irritates my soul. And so my soul's pushing me towards, okay, let's go here, and breaking that old pattern. So I feel like I'm going into this transition, and I only want to, I know this sounds awful, but in 2019, I just want to associate 90% of my people that speak to me are of words that are positive, happy, focused, you know, on the path. And so that's kind of happening, and this is all happening since I've been eating.
Yeah. I want to say that definitely emotional challenges are higher when we are eating than when we're fasting.
Yeah.
You realize, right? Absolutely, yeah. That's why it's better not to start a fast when you are during the holidays, but to maybe, if you're fasting, keep going. And not to break it during the holidays as well, because you might be emotional, you know. So it's good at least you had 1 week to to get used to it, you know.
Thank you for sharing your photos. Massive transformation physically, and the other ones you've already shared. You know, I haven't seen anybody not go through massive changes.
My body, in all the things I've done, this has been the biggest response actually. My up and downs through my years in my 30s and 40s, always go back up, and you go back up to more inflammation. This one here, like, if I went on a diet, and I don't like a diet because you die on a diet, but just say, I don't know, any diet, you know, could be Weight Watchers, for example. Now, if I went on something like that, yeah, sure, you would drop it because you're actually changing something within yourself, so things will be released. But what happens is those emotional triggers are still there, right? So you haven't really fully cleaned out your body because you're still on food. So your body, well, for me personally, it would double, because the inflammation and everything would just suck it back in. So you're always on this roller coaster, and your digestive system's your tube's never right, because you're still clogged up and you've still got blockages, which I understand now. I didn't understand then. Where this one here is, I haven't put on any, there's no, like, I should have put on, I thought to myself, maybe I might put on some weight, which doesn't matter if I didn't, but I actually haven't. It's just the same, like, for a week. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, everybody bodies goes a little bit differently when they break their fast. Some people bowels don't start moving in weeks. Some people, you know, starts quick like yours. So everybody will go through different experience. Some people continue losing weight even though they're eating, and they're freaking out.
It also, you know, depends how much they're eating.
Yeah.
You know, some people, because you just came off a fast and you think, okay, I'm full, that's it, it's enough. But so they might keep, you know, they're cleansing because they're not eating enough, you know. They're kind of fasting. And I totally believe that the, you know, spiritual cleansing is related to the physical, to the emotional. Everything is related. So we cannot say
we wouldn't be here otherwise.
I mean, you know, like, to clean my body physically, I will also be cleaning spiritually. It's just a blockage, that, you know, it's just a blockage, physical, emotional, spiritual. It's a blockage. Right?
If I don't know if any of you have watched Paolo's interview from Italy. He if you remember what he talked about, they guide people in meditation, and he's been meditating for many years. And he mentioned, I've been meditating, but I never really believed it, but I just continue to do it. And he goes, after I was doing the master fast, I understood what meditation really is. This was the missing key for them. And it was beautiful. He got
Mm-hmm.
rid of his many years of migraines, a couple decades.
So cute.
You know, so it's awesome when you can allow that to experience, allow the body to experience that. You know, because we're in this realm, I've found that in all these years, it's the easiest way for most people to connect with their soul when you start fasting. And not all, sorry, most of the spiritual teachers from the past, present, whatever, they all fasted.
I would say all of them.
No, Buddha was against it actually after he experimented with it.
Yeah, but at least, you know, yeah, even if they don't completely
He said you don't need to, and that's why.
But yeah, was Buddha originally like really overweight? Because
Well,
yeah, but I understand is that he was not overweight.
whatever. Anyway, but that I've read somebody mentioned once Buddha, and then I looked into it. Yeah, it's true. He wasn't.
He was not into fasting.
He tried it. He says you don't need that for enlightenment.
Mm.
No, we don't need anything. But if you have two roads to go to the same destination, one is not paved and it's all bumpy, and one is nice and smooth. Which one do you want to take? Fasting is the smooth road. It's the intelligent, prudent road to go to make your choice to get to your destination. And the other one is going to take you much longer, even if it's the same distance.
Mm-hmm.
So the thousands of people that have agreed the same thing. This is the easiest way for us to experience connection with soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think 99.9% of the population you have to clean the plasma, the GI and the plasma tube, because you have to, because the letting go and the paradigms and emotional ties that are in the cells and everything, you have to do it. You can't get away from it. That's what I personally believe.
It's not impossible, because everything is possible.
Yeah.
You could do it the other way, but like you said, 99.999 is going to be the best choice to go this route and fast.
Yeah. I believe it's the best tool we have for sure as humans. It's the best tool to connect. And yeah, growing up with Islam, I was praying when I was a kid, and I was believing, so practicing fasting and eating. And fasting, there is a phrase in Quran. It says that fasting is the all your deeds are yours. Everything that you do is yours, except for fasting. God says fasting is mine, and I reward you for it. So it's above everything else in Islam to fast, and it's a dry fast for 1 month. You from sunrise to sunset every day. It is really powerful, and it makes prayer for sure, 100%. It makes prayer much deeper. So I see it even more important than praying. Although it's very important to pray and meditate, but I see fasting more important because it will get you into that state of prayer, like deep prayer. Like when I'm eating heavy and I pray and I feel I'm not connected, I'm like, what's the point, like I feel like I'm wasting my time and energy because I can't focus. I don't have the clarity that I have when I'm fasting. So I like usually to start with fasting and then add the prayer and also exercise and things like this. But I feel fasting comes first. Yeah.
I actually thought of Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and Nelson Mandela this morning. And I was like thinking, how did they tap in? I
have an uncle who looks just like Gandhi.
Mm-hmm.
He's 83 now, 84.
Who is he?
Dino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he looks just like Gandhi.
They knew. Like lots of those people knew, and you just think about Gandhi, for example, what he did.
Yeah, one man. What his emotion intent? What did he do? Completely transformed England, India. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're in our little corner in our suburb or where we are. It's amazing what you can do.
Yeah.
Just I'm just watching anyone in near me or in my energy field or wherever they are. There's these these positive changes, and it's the source coming through. It's just like, I can't, it's like something takes over you. It's that sort of feeling. I haven't experienced this before, so it's probably, I'm still a baby, and I just accept for what it is, and I believe that it's real and it's true. And because I've just, as you said with the photos and that, it's been metamorphosis for me, and surrendering to the process, and and everybody can have it. And I actually feel pain that when people really want it, but they won't go on the journey and set that intention and be their own master creators and live a life that is just so gorgeous that that hurts a little bit. But then, as you said, always said, only a few of the few will live this lifestyle, and I understand why. And maybe we only need the few of the few of the few in order to be part of positive change.
We got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So we're the crazy ones.
We are the crazy ones. I love being crazy in the spirit. It's so cool. I love it. I can talk about all crazy things. I won't talk to other people want to talk, but so much crazy stuff that goes on. I love it. So it's great. Love being here on Friday nights.
I'm blown away by how many people, did 108 days. I never would have believed that many people would even attempt it.
Or even just 40 days or 30 days or 3 weeks, or 2 weeks. And a lot of people are trying it, it's amazing.
And that's the mistake. They got to jump in and commit. Trying leads to failure.
It's okay. Start somewhere.
Yeah, a lot of them come back after because of the experience they have, even the short times they've tried, whatever. There's nothing like it. Hello, Robbie. How you doing? So, it's very interesting how each one goes through their experience. Is just awesome. No two will go through the same experience. Never seen two people go through the same experience.
It shows all your differences when you're fasting.
Infinite number of souls out there.
Can I just say one more thing, and then let others talk? But I was looking at my niece. My niece, she's 10 years old, and because she's already starting getting body conscious stuff going on. Anyway, she says she's about 39.5 kilos and probably nearly as tall as me now. And I was actually thinking, I'm looking at myself, I go, okay, so, 40 kilos is, and the body is still working, right? Everything's working in her body. She's living, she's joyful and all that sort of stuff. And you look at that frame, so 40 kilos, it doesn't mean anything, if people, if I ever fell to that, it doesn't mean anything to me because it's your body's still functioning and you're still living. And, we were skipping together. There's a new walkway that's opened up in Brisbane, and we were skipping along the walkway together. And I'm thinking, well, that doesn't mean anything, on wherever you are on the scales of science. It doesn't mean anything. The fact that your body has this energy and it still functions and everything happens, it's irrelevant, really. Does that make sense in that?
Yeah, like you're saying, she's smaller than the average person, right?
No, she's quite good for her height. She's nearly my height, and which is 5 foot. I'm just under 5'3", and I'm 58 kilos and she's 40 kilos, right? So I was thinking, it doesn't matter what you are, height, this and that. like I was playing with her and I was enjoying her spirit and all that sort of stuff and enjoying my time with her. But it didn't matter that whatever, yeah, it doesn't matter if you fall, like many people that have that fear of falling too skinny, you know, and I think there's a mismatch there somewhere in the paradigm. You know, have a look at people that are kids, for example, you know, have a look at them and where they are at, and, you know, they're functioning. We were there once as well, you know, growing up as children and, you know, going through our changes physically and all that sort of stuff. And if you can, I just thought to myself, if you tap into that sort of energy or that sort of way of putting that in your mind, then it's nothing to be scared about if you do fall, you know, that low. I was just thinking about other people, that's all, about, because that comes up a lot in even, you know, I see that in the Facebook page, in the pages and the interviews, and when you know, and people go through that. And I'm trying to think, you know, how do I help people to understand that it's okay if you fall under 50 kilos?
Yeah.
Like how there's just a number. And I was looking at my niece, and at what come to me, like she's 40 kilos and she's nearly the same height as me, but she's functioning, her whole body is just vibrating. And it doesn't matter, like I just thought to me, well, that's got nothing to do with where you are on the scales. It's just got to do with energy, and your body's still working. So I was trying to find a way to how you can shift someone's thinking to think, okay, look at a child that's the same height as you, and that, you know, they're functioning. So you were there once as well. So, you know, and try and remember that the body was fine. You know, she's got muscles on her. You know, the muscles don't go away, I don't think. You can always rebuild muscle if you want to. So I was just trying to think of how to help people that have that fear.
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem. The challenge is they allow fear to rule them and run them instead of working to gain the understanding of what fasting is, what's going on with what we're doing, what's going on in the body. So they allow the fear to take over from wherever, from whoever they're talking to or within, looking at themselves. They get into this fear thing, and that's what takes them over. So what's that showing is they don't trust that their body can rebuild itself better, stronger, faster, et cetera, et cetera. That's all it is. And even though so many have shown that both skin and bones, and they're much better. Like who is it? Michelle Gibson. She started skinny. She went to Skin and Bones. She stayed on Skin and Bones for, it was like a year almost before she started gaining weight. You know, it takes what it takes. Some people might take them longer, 2 or 3 years. It's just, you got to get to the point where the stagnation that's making the body go to Skin and Bones comes out. And it always starts on the emotional side. So it's locked in the physical, but it starts in the emotional. So once that energy stagnation is freed up, the weight will start coming on. And all your deficiencies and malabsorption and all the stuff they name these things will disappear.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you know, we can be very small eventually on a very clean body, but we will not be looking sick. You know, when we're detoxing, okay, yeah, we might be looking tired because we're detoxing. It's like a surgery. You're undergoing surgery. You know, you're undergoing big transformation, so you might look a little bit sick. I mean, you know, I love MasterFast because it's really designed in a very smart way, so we don't really feel sick. At least we might look a little bit sick, you know, but at least we don't feel sick. You know, it's manageable. It's designed to help you release, so you don't feel the symptoms of detoxification.
Most people, when they're into the second, third week or whatever, they feel better than they've ever felt in many years. Most people. And then you have some that go through some challenge, and you have the very few that go through big challenges. So we don't know. Like, everybody's going to go through a different ride.
And when you do it over and over and over again, from day one, you already feel better. You will know it. When you do it over and over and over again, you will feel it from day one. You feel much better.
As soon as you switch from consuming matter for energy to using fields for energy, the body just goes, thank you. And this is why we got to do everything in our power to maintain our dry fasting. Those are our resets when we're eating. No matter what, do that. And never, ever, ever, ever even think about going back to 7 days a week of eating. Never. It's a ludicrous to think that. It's actually stupid if you're start this lifestyle and go back to 7 days a week eating. You might as well stay where you are and keep eating 7 days a week. Don't even attempt to do any massive fasting.
Yeah. Sometimes it's out of our control, we do our best. Whatever you do your best. Sometimes the cravings can be out of control, but at least don't make big mistakes and do your best to stick with a dry fasting schedule.
There has to be a little bit of discipline if you want to really, truly find balance and heal, to say, I got to do this no matter what. I don't care about all these, I got to do this no matter what. Yeah. This is my 1 day a week, I'm not eating. If it's only 1 day a week or whatever. You got to do it.
Reset. Yeah.
You got to do it. And nobody can do it for you. And like, people come on the page and they're asking questions. Have you read anything? You can tell they haven't read anything. I can't read for you. You want me to write it out for you? You're still going to have to read it. So go read the information. It's already there for you. So it's the laziness mentality of people wanting others to do the work for them. And you're never going to find balance in this life. If you don't have that gift of giving with you, you're never going to find balance in this life. That's number one. That's the first step of creation, is the gift of giving. That's why we're all here. Through the gift of love of giving, he created. The universe created us. God created us. So we have to come to terms of the laws of the universes, the basics of it. We don't have to know all the intricacies. We just need to know the basics of how the universe works, because the body works on that same principle of how the operations of how the universe works. So if we have that little bit of understanding, we can have huge strides in this realm and all the other realms. And we've seen it. We've seen what happens with people that live this lifestyle. It's just perfect.
Yeah, it's very important to be responsible for yourself. Do your work, which is reading the protocol, and every decision you make is your own responsibility.
If you don't take responsibility, forget about healing.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Do your best.
It's his fault. Their fault. It's her fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
You cannot. I tell people, like my clients, I tell them, you can't even blame your own doctor. You can't blame your doctor for giving you drugs. You took the drugs.
That's what we're talking about.
So and that's exactly where I feel myself as well, responsible, doing my job. At the same time, I don't want people to point fingers at me.
Yeah.
I want to protect myself too, because it's a little bit, crazy out there sometimes,
It's like people who get vaccinations and then they get damaged. They willingly went to the doctor's office. They, got the vaccinations and then they get damaged or die or whatever. And then they're into these lawsuits and everything. Why? If you were forced, tied down and injected, that's a different story. But if you willingly made the choice to accept that, with the information that they gave you, doesn't matter if it was bull crap or not, you didn't do your homework, that's your responsibility. It's nobody else's.
Yeah. And you do, sometimes you're not exposed to the information. This is number one, the information. And then the second thing is the determination to make the change. So many people are not even exposed to the information that we're exposed to. And some people are exposed, but they don't have the determination to change. So these two things, when they're lacking, you're not going to do what you want,
Yeah. I've seen so many people in these past 30 years, they say they want to heal, but they don't do the things to allow that process to take place. And when you say that, you have to go along the lines, no matter what, no matter how long it may take, and do whatever it takes to stay on the path, commit and devote yourself to that goal, to that lifestyle, and then you'll see changes happen. Otherwise, if you're going to go searching from this diet to the other diet, to this magic superfood, to that magic herb, to that magic drug, or to whatever, good luck.
Yeah,
you're just going to be spiraling outwards into confusion, I like to put it. Until you spiral inwards, which is what we're doing when we're fasting. When you start doing that, then you start gaining all the information, all your answers, because you're tied in. When you're spiraling outwards, you get more and more and more confused. It's just like that spiral. If you look at the Master Fast spiral, we have a picture of the universe there, one of the galaxies. The soul's in the center, and as you're spiraling outwards, you're getting into the heavier and heavier foods. It's the same thing with information. When you go to soul, you're connected to abundance, infinite source of knowledge, all creation. As we're spiraling outwards with the information in this realm, we're getting into more and more confusion, more and more confusion, more and more confusion. It's the same thing. Everything works on the same principles at all levels and all dimensions until we go into the dimensionless realm, which is soul. There's no dimension in soul. So that's my understanding. I could be all wrong.
Yeah, and we see, I have seen people, and we have seen people as well, being confused between natural healing, and they are very, they're exposed to the information, but they are in a critical place where they are afraid. So they are doing the natural healing that they know, and some of it is Master Fast. And then they're going to their doctor, and let's say they have cancer, they do radiation and surgeries and whatever. And then they end up very sick, because they're confused more than anything.
They don't trust in their soul. It's simple. They just don't trust. They don't have the understanding of what's possible. When you have the understanding and you're going to keep going no matter what happens and what people are saying. You know. Like, look at how many transformations that people that have been through Master Fast, and still people with all that, they just don't trust in their soul. They're looking for this, that, and the other thing. I don't have time to deal with that anymore. Where's the science and where's this? Not here. You're not going to find any science here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if you want to do this, it's your responsibility. But here, there's no science.
We're talking about connecting with soul. If you want science in that,
it's different. It's completely different.
The only place you're going to get an understanding is if you go into the plasma science, the alternative plasma science, Keshe Foundation. You're going to get a whole new understanding that's not taught in mainstream.
It's not medical science. That's for sure.
No. But otherwise, the information is available to all of us when we fast, and it comes in waves. And every fast you go into, the waves get bigger and bigger with the information that comes through. So it's just extraordinary that it's available to everybody. Just tap in.
Oh, we have so much information now. It's amazing.
You got to find it within your power to gain the understanding. And how do you gain the understanding? Is through the experiences. That's the only
because
way.
That's the belief. It becomes a belief.
Unless you become enlightened through connecting to source, another way, which is a more difficult way for most of us, but through the fasting, you're going to gain that experience and you're going to gain the understanding.
Yeah.
We've seen it over and over. Will one fast do it? One fast will give you a lot of revelation. But the more you get into this lifestyle, the more you're going to be connected to that information that's available to all of us. And the more you'll be enlightened and start remembering who you are and where you came from. And this is the simple key, as I like to say, the Masters Key Holders Club, 108 days. Doors are open. What are you doing? You walking through? Going to continue? Or are you going to close them? And some of us will choose to close them. It's okay. But when those doors are open, it's up to you to keep walking through. And each fast will have a new set of doors that you can continue walking through. It's just awesome that we have this available today. This information's always been available, but now we can connect with anybody around the planet very simply in this realm through this computers and all that, and because we've taken ourselves away from um, connecting soul to soul, or telepathically is more of an understanding where people would understand. But it's interesting on all the different beliefs. You know, people are posting challenges they have using medical terms and all that, and people are given advice to treat these symptoms, and it still bothers me because we're not into that. It doesn't really bother, but it's just
It's not part of the system.
it's not what we're doing. And you know, there's a lot of people still think this is a juice fast, and it's just a lot of people get themselves in trouble. That's all I can say. They don't understand what cooked juice is. We're dealing with higher order. We're not dealing with matter. And you know, the questions of calories and sugar and all that, they keep coming up and keep coming up. I don't know how else to put it in a form of English so people can get it. And the only thing is, live it, love it, and you'll gain the understanding. And talk to people who are living it and loving it. Don't talk to the people who are trying it. Talk to people who are living it and loving it. And those are the ones where you're gonna be able to resonate with, so you can make the decision if this is for you to move ahead and gain that trust and understanding for your soul. Because we can't do it for you. Go ahead. Jump in.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm going to jump in because the less is more is everything in every part of your life. So if this helps others, one of the things I'm going to be doing next year, because I was a big time book reader. I didn't actually read through 2018 much because I did the getting rid of the other people's ideas and information, because it's just, you know, it plays with your mind, confuses you. So next year, I might allow myself to read one book, right?
One book.
Right? But the rest of it, I have done so much self-development books like Tony Robbins to all that. Most people here probably have as well, to try and change the mindset. It doesn't work, because the thing is, that's someone else's idea and their perspective, and you might pick up one thing, but then most people won't actually go through with that one thing and change it in their life, because they've got to change their mind. And you can't change your mind because you're caught in a paradigm and you're going to be challenged. So when you do the MFS, what I realise is when you chop off the mind and you go to the awareness, is then all the information comes anyway. And why are you enslaved to someone else's ideas? Just be enslaved to your own creation and your own ideas, because it's going to be true source anyway. So all those books, they're gone. All the Facebook groups, gone. The ones that I'm not interested in, gone. Just email subscriptions, gone. You know, just so much stuff just gone in 2019, because I think 2019 is a very powerful year I feel it's going to be very powerful. So when you eliminate all them, then this is easier, I feel, MFS, because your focus goes to less is more. And then, you know, I can't believe how many, you know, people go on about books, and then you go read some podcast on how to explain the book, and then you go, you know, it just goes on. It's crazy stuff in the mind. That's, you know, I just had to say that, because that's the one thing I started to do through this MFS. I let it go of information, and I thought, this is really cool, so I'm going to do it even not extreme, a bit more.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because I see, and myself included, that we get caught in all these different opinions and stuff, and we start getting more and more and more confused. I see it all the time with people that are in the groups. They're jumping from one thing to another thing to another thing to another, because they haven't gained the understanding of what this is really about, to gain the trust and the faith in your soul. Once you understand that, you're going to stop. Like you said, throw away all the books. What do you need them for? You're tapped into all information of all creation. What do you want to tap into this little bit of information that is just his experience or her experience? And it could be modified or twisted. You know, it's okay to read and everything. That's fine. You know, you gain some enlightenment and stuff, but go within and find yourself if that's true to you. And how are you going to go within? Fast. Because a polluted, obstructed body is not going to be giving you correct information. A lot of people say, oh, I have to listen to my body. I have to break the fast. Okay, time for you to break the fast, but you didn't gain the understanding because your body is not talking to you through correct information because it's plugged up. And it ain't going to be freed of obstructions in even 108 days. It's going to take years. But each fast will give you more and more clarity. And that's the beauty. The obstructions are not only interfering in the physical, but in the mental and the emotional side. And it gets in the way of us accessing the information from source with clarity. That's what I found. Once your body starts cleaning itself up, you're going through this after, a couple of years, 1, 2 years, 3 years, you're gonna start seeing how the body talks to you with much more clarity, much more. Then I will believe you after you've done this for a few years that I'm listening to my body. But you're jumping into your first fast and your body's telling you to stop fasting. You don't have an understanding of what it takes to clean out obstructions at all these levels. I've shared my story of my lung detox. It took 5 years. 5 years on raw foods and fasting. I don't know. It's very difficult for the average person, even people in the detox world, to comprehend what it takes. People think they get on fruit and you're going to detox yourself and be all fine and dandy. So many people, go to fruit diets and can't sustain it. Number one, they can't get ripe fruit. We've talked about that and so on and so forth. But it doesn't have the cleaning power. Eating. When you're eating, it's just going to get you to the level of obstruction of the foods you're eating. And it's great because fruit is the least, but you're not going to be able to clean out beyond that. So connecting to soul takes it takes a whole nother devotion and commitment to come to the level of connection that will allow you to come to a new understanding. And the new understanding is only the body feeds, hydrates, balances, and heals itself through soul from source. It's really that simple. Arnold Ehret had it correct with V equals P, take away all vitality equals power, take away obstructions. That simple formula. He had it correct. I don't see any flaws in that formula. I see it as it's based on the principles of creation, that formula. Less is more. It's right there spelled out for us. And I haven't seen anybody explain that formula in all the years I've known about Arnold Ehret and reading about it and so on and so forth. And the only time I started gaining the understanding was maybe about a couple of years before MFS, when I started doing the dry fasting. I started getting enlightened and then gained the understanding. Also through the plasma science, that really opened up a whole new realm for me. But the fast, just continuously fast over fast over fast over fast, banging my head against the wall, listening to so much stuff there that set me back in many times. But it was a blessing to, and it was meant to be for me to gain the understanding that we have now. And we still know nothing. This is the beauty. We still know nothing. We've just scratched a little bit of understanding, and look at the magic that we're able to do. Can you imagine when we start opening up that scratch a little more? Oh my goodness, what are we going to see here? It's going to be miraculous things happening, and it's already happening. So just as long as we can keep that faith, and we're going to go through challenges, and it's not going to be an easy road. The road is simple, but it's not easy. So just embrace it.
But it's easier than where we came from.
Yeah, use the tools, use the tools, use the tools. Sometimes we're going to have to lay back and take a break for a while, but start eating a little bit of the heavier food just to allow the emotions to do what they have to do. But like I say, always maintain your dry fasting, and never ever go back to 7 days a week eating. How can I say that in a positive term? I don't like using the word never, but
just do your best. Live the master fast lifestyle. This is more. Do your best.
Eat maximum 6 days a week. That's a positive term. Maximum 6 days a week.
I got annoyed about brushing my teeth every day and going to the toilet.
It's more work, right?
It's hard work.
Yeah.
It's you see how much energy it is to eat once you've broken a long fast. You go, my goodness, all that energy went to eating. And then, when you're in a fast, you can do so much more stuff, sleep less, and the energy's more. And then when you go back to food, you're shortened by those few hours a day. And
I remember someone once complaining, or I'm sure a couple of people complaining that, I have to juice, I have to do this, juice the lemons, okay? I have to do my enemas, I have to do this. And then when you're eating, it's much more work. At least for me it is, I have to buy the food, I have to wash it, I have to prepare it if I go to work, and then I have to eat it and digest it. That's the biggest one, because you feel so tired at the end of the day.
David's love you guys and love this path. Awesome, David. We love you. Love all you guys. It's it's just amazing how much energy we put out to eat. It's just a lot of energy. Even eating 1 day a week, how much more energy just for that 1 day a week. It's just incredible. And people, I remember growing up, my mother would spend hours on the cooking and preparing food. Hours.
And you eat it in 5 minutes.
And it tasted amazing, and I devoured it. But that was all that love, the plasma love they're putting into the food, preparing it, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Today's the second day my mother has no headaches. God bless, my goodness gracious. We finally, hopefully we can keep it that way. And it was horrible past month or so. But it's so challenging when somebody doesn't want to make changes. But that was really, really challenging. Really challenging.
Yeah, we're doing her colonics now.
Yeah, we started doing colonics again.
Once a week.
Doing the osteopath and acupuncture to help move some energy. And these things help. They help, folks, but they're not the answer to homostasis, because you can't rely on anybody else doing anything for you. You can only allow them to assist in helping you move the energies. And these work great. All these things are great when we're fasting. You use all these tools. It's wonderful.
Yeah, what I found is, I have some clients who come for colonics regularly, like maybe once every week or 2 weeks, and they still don't eat amazingly, but way better than like a year ago. So that's an improvement. I mean, there's one girl who wants to become vegan. I was surprised. I'm sure she listened to somebody else because I've been talking about it for 1 year. And she didn't change. But she has changed so much already before even doing the vegan. And I believe big part of it is the colonics, because she got used to them. And so every time she ate heavy, she paid the price. She's like, oh my God, help me, I'm gonna die,
Yeah.
So she comes, we watch the colon, and she's like, okay, I learned my lesson. So she keeps learning,
It happens
So
when
definitely,
even people just reading regular diets, start doing colonics, and something starts shifting because they're starting to remove some of the obstructions, and something starts shifting. They start paying more attention how they feel when they're eating and stuff.
Yeah.
So they start, gaining some more information, asking around or whatever, and that leads them to whatever, and making more changes in their lifestyle.
Definitely less obstructions. I find help people make better choices. So you become smarter. So let's see what happens with your mom. Maybe she can start eating better food. I mean, you're doing the shopping, right? Like today we bought her fruits and vegetables, so we'll see.
Yeah, that would be a miracle, but anyway.
Sometimes she goes and buys her own stuff, with the caregiver, and we're like, why did you buy this? What can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care. Some people just don't care.
Inga, go ahead. Inga, just jump in.
Hi, everyone. Gina, I want to talk about a little bit about mercury fillings.
Mercury, the amalgam?
Yeah.
I would do everything in my power to have them removed, properly. I'll just give you a little story. I've heard many, but my mother a few years ago, maybe about 5 years or so, she was complaining about her knee for a few months. And then I said, you know what? Let me do some muscle testing on her teeth, where the fillings are. And lo and behold, one of them, she was very weak. Just muscle tested. What I did, I got a chopstick, put it on the tooth, and I muscle tested each amalgam filling. And one of them, she was very weak on it. I go, okay, we're going to go have them removed. She only had 3, I think. So we did them all. So we go get them removed. I've never heard her complain about her knee since then. So, each tooth, if you look at the Chinese chart with all the meridians, they go to all the different parts of the body from each tooth. So they're going to affect you. And like the root canals, some people go jump the gun and go remove all the root canals. I wouldn't do that. You're losing all your teeth. I would only do the ones that I would test them a week on, and I get those removed or repaired or whatever. I'm the one that would do everything in my power to try and keep the tooth, no matter, even if it was a root canal. If it wasn't, causing anything, I would try and keep it as best I could. Because once you remove your teeth, what are you going to put for an alternative?
Yeah, but see, it's that really, like, I'm talking about myself now. I would say I have at least 5 really big ones.
Okay.
And the big ones is like, if they're going to take out, I would say no way they can save the tooth.
Okay, Inga. I have one that it was filled in grade school. When we were in grade school, there was dentists there, and they were doing free dental work for the children. How wonderful.
Yeah, same.
Grade 3, I think it was. So everybody's getting fillings. Like, did we have fillings? Who knows? I never got any cavities after that point in my life. That was the only time I ever had fillings, was from that time in school. So anyway, this one tooth had a big one, and it cracked once or twice, and it got filled a couple of times, and then it broke again, and then it was in the early 1990 time when I started getting information and stuff. I read a book written by a dentist to get the amalgam fillings removed and replace it with properly. And there's a dentist here in Toronto who was specialized in removing properly, more expensive than all the other dentists by like 20%. So I went there and I said I wanted to get them all removed. She goes, well, that one there, you need a root canal. I said, no way, I'm not doing a root canal. Well, she goes, it definitely needs a cap. I go, okay, well, we'll put a cap. So I had her put a cap on it. I still have the tooth.
You have a cap right now?
Yeah. Still have the tooth, Inga. They told me I needed a root canal. I said, no way.
No way.
And
The nerves.
what do you mean by cap? What does that mean?
Well, the tooth, basically they shave the tooth completely off from the gums above, and it's just a cap. So I only have the root, basically, of that tooth. That's what a cap is. Most of the tooth is gone. But I had pain in that tooth for a while. I don't have the pains no more. Start dry fast and all that, it all cleans up. But, I do have a cap. So, but I have the tooth. I still have the tooth. If you pull the tooth out, what are you going to do? They're going to put an implant or whatever you're going to do. So I suggest, if the dentist will not do it, find a dentist who will do everything they can to help you save the tooth, and don't do a root canal. Even if you go through pain, you have to use clove for a while to help with the pain. You get into the fasting and dry fasting and let it resolve itself. This tooth is from 1990, so I still have it. I still have it. Never mind what they tell you. They're only giving you an opinion. They do not have a clue what's possible. Get them removed. Get them removed.
Most of them, I'm sure they can replace. If there's a very deep one, then I guess you can do what you did, which is shave the tooth and put a cap.
Yeah, caps are not cheap.
But most of them, you can replace the filling. Replace it with something that's safer, right?
Yeah. Look into you can go on the internet now and find all the safe materials. The composites. Some of them are okay, and so on and so forth. Gold. Some people are using crystals, crushed crystals and stuff. I don't know if any dentists are doing that, but I know it could be quite an expense. Some people go on trips to Mexico or to get their teeth done because they can pay for the trip, get all their teeth work done, and still cheaper than their home countries. So there's many different options. But for now, have somebody muscle test you on each one of your fillings, and the ones that you're testing weak, do those at least first. First, and then if it's financial things, you can do the other ones later. But that's what I would suggest. Don't listen to them that you need a root canal. That's bullcrap.
Yeah, I would remove all mercury for sure. And no root canal.
No root canals. Do not do a root canal. Whatever you do not do a root canal.
Yeah, I have.
Only thing, as they say, like, I just wouldn't like to lose my teeth either, I was like, God, like.
You got to connect with a dentist that is kind of more into holistic. And
yeah.
That's where I'm going. What your goal is. Say, I don't want to lose my tooth, but I got to get this crap out of me, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. No root canal.
Yeah.
So, tell them my story.
I had a couple removed, also mercury, maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and I thought, okay, I'm mercury free and happy because they can see in the X-rays, right, where the mercury is, right? Yeah. So he replaced it.
If you can see it on X-rays, you'll see fillings.
Fillings, yeah. So he can see where the mercury from the outside, and he can see the filling and whatever. So he replaced it with safer material, and then I had a root canal. He's a holistic dentist, and I said, I asked him, and he was like, well, yeah, it will make you weaker from what he knows. I said, okay, then remove it. Even though he has 2 root canals. He's, I think, 80 years old or something, 70-something years old. So he removed it for me. It's funny, when he removed it, he was removing the root canal, he found mercury inside that he did not know it is there, And he, in the middle of the procedure of removing, he removed mercury too. And then, and that tooth was horrific. I am so happy my root canal is out. I got it out before I knew, I got it out. I want nothing to do with root canals. And it was not a nice feeling, so I'm happy it's out.
Yeah, I do whatever you can to get out at least the ones that are weakening you now, and then later on, if you can, do them all. If you can do them all, do them all. But find somebody that's going to work with you. Like, I've been at this stuff a long time, and I've heard a lot of bullcrap. A lot of bullcrap. There's some good information out there, but there's a lot of bullcrap in alternative and natural and holistic so-called healing. There's a lot of bullcrap. In mainstream, it's all bullcrap. You got 3 months to live. Bullcrap. If I'm doing what you tell me to do, I got 3 months to live. Walk away, you'll live longer doing nothing. So there's a lot of bullcrap. Connect with your inner guidance, and you're going to find your answers. It's interesting because what people are going through. I've pretty much experienced pretty much everything that people are going through, except for the mainstream stuff. I for whatever reason, I had complete fear over that system, and I stayed away from it. I stayed away from it because I didn't like any of their suggestions to what to do to solve challenges I had. So I stayed away.
Yeah.
Rana, did you get the whole tooth or just the root canal filling it? You pulled the tooth.
Yeah, I got the whole tooth out.
She pulled the tooth.
No, yeah, because the tooth is dead. Didn't want to leave it.
Yeah, but I'm saying even if you have a root canal, if you can save it, save it. Try and do it, save it. Sometimes root canals they have infections buried underneath, and people can't feel
But
it
it's
because
not sometimes. It's all the time.
the nerve.
Unless you're
don't say that. No.
Unless you're dry fasting, I guess it's another story.
This is what, yeah. If you're living an NFS lifestyle, less is more. You can solve that situation. If you have a little problem with it, your body will solve it. You got to work with it.
Yeah, but you know what? Mine was not fun to keep inside. It was not a nice feeling. It was always irritating. So it's a good thing to get it out. I'm happy it's out. I don't care.
In some cases, you may have to remove the tooth, and okay. But what I'm saying is do whatever it takes to keep your teeth, no matter what. Do whatever it takes. If you have
No,
to.
I would be same. Yeah, I would be same, Gino.
Imagine you have a dead tissue inside your body.
It doesn't matter. At least it's your tissue. It's not an implant. I'd rather have a dead tooth than an implant.
Yeah, but it's not just the dead tissue. Because the dead tissue must be protected, so they have to put a crown on top.
I believe that a root canal tooth, if you clean it out properly and you fill it with something compatible, I believe the nerve can regenerate. That's my belief system.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that it can regenerate, but like that, whatever they're doing, it might be blocking the nerves from growing.
You need to work with somebody that knows what they're doing. Don't let people tell you,
it's not about
no, you can't do this.
They learn how to do root canals and they do them. I paid $2,000 for my root canal by a specialist. The regular dentist didn't do it. So it's a very special procedure. I can tell them what to do. They know what to do. So
no, they don't know what to do because you don't have your tooth no more.
No, this one I don't want it. I'm happy it's out. I'm happy. I'm it was on the side. I'm happy it's out. I really don't care. It was irritating me.
Maybe it's gonna grow a new one.
Yeah, but you just got one. Some people have 4 or 5. They remove 4 or 5 teeth. What are you going to eat with? You're going to disintegrate your jaw with no teeth.
That's fine. I would rather have this. And they found mercury inside when they were removing it. I mean, I'm so happy it's out. I'm really happy it's out. It was very irritating. There's another tooth that they wanted next to it. They wanted to do root canal on, and I said no, just remove it. It's either root canal or remove it. So I said remove it. But back then I didn't know. Maybe I would have saved it now.
Exactly, Rada. Yeah.
But you know what? My root canal was in the middle between that tooth that they removed and the rest of the teeth. So it's weird to have a hole. Like the food is gonna get stuck. So at least now I have a big hole. I have this side of my upper jaw. I don't have 2 teeth. And I don't chew on this side. I can't.
Hopefully they will regrow.
Yeah, exactly, right? Maybe everything will fall and regrow. I heard that. Victor Triviano.
Everything is possible.
His teeth fell. All his teeth fell when he went dry fasting, like when he became breatharian.
Oh, Jesus.
And then everything regrew.
Everything is possible.
Like for the third set of teeth. Yeah, that was just amazing. So, everybody has their own journey. So, and everybody's different. Not every breatharian has their teeth regrown.
Well, maybe they're not breatharian.
Maybe they're not. Who knows? Maybe they drink sometimes. But Victor Triviano is no food, no liquid for 11 years, I think, at least, or 12 years.
Yeah. So just remember that. Do whatever you can to keep your teeth. That's all I'm suggesting. Don't listen to anybody else.
Yeah.
Once you lose them, I'm not saying it's impossible to grow them back, but I'd rather you keep your teeth.
Yeah. Unless it's
Another, right? Okay, go on.
Sorry?
No, I say finish. Then I have another question.
Mhm.
I'm saying unless it's irritating, then you might as well remove it because you don't want to.
No, see, like sometimes I would say I feel them when I fast, but otherwise they are very good. And because the feelings is so big, that's why I knew I need to change them eventually. And probably I feel it's time coming closer and closer. But otherwise, like they've been really good to me. Like when I read actually what mercury fillings could do to you, like I'm so lucky. I don't have any symptoms on anything of that,
Mhm.
and I have full out of them.
Are they molars?
I no idea. They silver.
No, are they, the fillings are all in the molars or the big teeth?
Big teeth?
No, 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 no. I still can see my teeth around. Just only tiny bit.
Oh, okay.
What
You
which
know.
teeth? Are they the front, the back?
No, no, all back ones. All back ones. No, I don't have any in front. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your teeth.
No, surely not.
You're not gonna lose it. It's just mercury. It's not root canal. So just get rid of the mercury.
Yeah, when they put this cap on, she goes, "Oh, I can see the nerve." Put the cap. Put the cap.
Right.
Yeah. As long as
You-
keep
you-
the nerve. Yeah, keep the nerve.
You need to be firm with them. So you don't go to them somebody who will do it. Believe me, you'll be sorry if you
Pull them out.
or pull them out. It's not something I look forward to.
Yeah. Then I have another interesting experience and see if anybody else has. When I do enema or kalima, I feel I wash my brain rather than colon.
Yeah, of course. We got more brain down there than we got up here. It's connected.
Right.
Connected. You get more clarity.
When I told my boyfriend he knows enemas, he said, "Not at all. What are you talking about?" I said, "That's how I feel."
Keep going. You shared a photo of a few weeks ago, was it? Some nice releases. Keep going.
Oh,
keep
yeah.
digging. Keep digging.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that's buried within our bodies, it's just how the hell did that happen?
Yeah, it's just where it sits.
It's incredible.
Yeah, today I mean I almost every time I go to the bathroom I release, like to pee, I release also from the back. And today, just before I showered, I went and I was like, let's see, so with a tissue, just I move it around, and that was like about that thick, that long and that thick, mucusy structure, and I was like, ew, this looks like it's reddish, brownish reddish, like what is that? It's not the regular mucoid plaque. It's a chunk of mucus. It's like a new species, and I kept thinking about it.
It's an alien. I call them aliens.
It is an alien. I swear, I was thinking about it. I was like, imagine this is in a lab right now. I am sure this is a different DNA. This is not mine. This is something else. It's amazing. Yeah, it looks so weird. It's amazing what we release. The stuff that we release. I mean, I've been fasting. Today is day 6 because I ate last Sunday. And so, where is it? Like my head, where is it coming from? From my liver, because I'm washing my colon every day, right?
We could not live in this realm without parasites. They're part of the creation of this realm. They're one with us. They're here to help us. The problem is that we put our body in such an obstructive state, they take over, they think you're a corpse, and you get into big problems. You can die. So that's the biggest challenge. The killing mentality, we got to kill all the parasites.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere.
But today's that big boy with, I'm sure is not supposed to be there.
Yeah, well, they come out.
No, I totally get it that we are full of parasites, good and bad, and the whole thing. It's just the way it is, the system.
You start changing the terrain, you find balance. Doesn't matter what's in there. you'll find balance. And
Yeah.
that's the key.
But that, like, yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, that's maybe the reason I was a little bit irritated, or I related it quickly. And it's the full moon today, so they are at full maturity on the full moon.
There's people who've released live worms, man. It's just so it's interesting when that stuff's alive inside you. All the whatever, not only worm, all these different parasites. You think they're not influencing us? Damn right, they're influencing us. Now's the full moon, man. Everybody's going cuckoo. Is it a full moon down there? And yeah.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. Ours was today.
Yeah. All the animals are crazy. It's good.
Yeah, you could see the way people are acting. Or if you ask anybody who works at a police station or as a cop or in the hospital stuff, they have a lot of weird things happen on full moons. A lot of weird things. Every full moon, weird things happen. More chaos and everything. So let's send extra plasma love to everybody on the full moon.
To ourselves too.
It's really funny when you start eating, you feel your stomach, this thing's going on, hey? It's like when you talk about parasites and that, I'm thinking, oh no, some other entities are coming there now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is all right, because they're giving me some information, I think.
Love them, yeah, love them. They're there to help you, believe me. The creation doesn't make a mistake. And this is the challenge most people have, is they think that all these things are something wrong. No, creation is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. The problem is you put yourself in a situation where it's not sustainable to be healthy and balanced in this realm. The creation is working perfectly. Don't underestimate creation. It's perfect. It's perfect. It continuously functions in perfection. We don't see that because we're stupid. we look at things that man understands things better than creation. That's why science is there and telling us that, this, that, and the other thing, Here, take your antibiotics, kill everything off. Then you have superbugs. And antibiotics don't work. And the spiral of confusion keeps spreading more and more and more. I'm just giving you one example. There's infinite we can go by. Look outside in cities and the pollution and the oceans and the rivers and streams. Look what we're doing. If man was eradicated from this planet would go back to balance perfectly. If you eradicate any other living species on this planet, there's an imbalance. How amazing is that? We're not needed here.
I'll tell you another crazy thing they're doing in Australia is, because it's summertime, and always they're asking people to take flu vaccinations because there's a little bit of a flu epidemic in summer. I was like, you're just trying to get rid of the last 2 years, vaccination for whatever flu was there. Because my parents are going to go, aren't they? It's free. So they're going to go get their injection. I'm going, you're nuts. Like, that's just...
Free! Let's line up.
Yeah.
And they do. They do. They line up. They believe in all that garbage science, which is all manipulated to create business. That's all of it. That's what science is. Most of it. There's some of it that's good, but most of it is to create business, an ongoing business. Pharmaceuticals and all that stuff, chemicals they use in agriculture, and it's one big circle of business. It's all the same corporations that are doing this stuff. And once you're enlightened, it's very. You look at things differently a little bit. Like the whole planet now is chemicalized. I don't think there's a species on this planet that doesn't have chemicals in it. It's insane what we've put this. Man, oh man. So we have all the solutions, though. We have all the solutions now to solve all these problems. What is everybody doing to work towards that? What are we doing?
Clean up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Start by cleaning this temple, and then you're going to look at everything else differently. I can assure you.
The other day, I was watching a squirrel from the window outside my work, and he was holding a piece of sandwich, like bread, and he's eating it. And his friend is watching him, he wants to eat it. And I'm looking at it, I was like, oh no, poor thing, he's eating bread. And they're addicted just like us, they're addicted to it. It's pretty, it's, of course, it's not how they're meant to eat, it's not how we're meant to eat.
Yeah. Everything's exactly the way it should be on this planet, because creation doesn't make mistakes. We're here to learn all the crap we're going through, we're here to learn something. Humans are the only species to use toilet paper. How's that? It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to use toilet paper. We're supposed to experience all this chaos on this planet, all this destruction. So until the lessons learned and we come to the understanding, nothing's going to change on this planet. It'll spiral more and more into more confusion until we hit a point where the shift comes and people start taking care of themselves and taking care of their environments according to the laws of creation, nature, and the universe. Otherwise, we're not going to see any changes. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. More enslavement, more corruption, more disease, more killings. There has to be that shift that has to happen. And we are the change. So we start from within because everyone's connected. And that's the only way you can make the change. You can't force people to do things, but you can make your changes yourself to influence with that plasma field, that plasma love always flowing, which touches every soul on the planet. Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
Well, until I become breatharian, I'm going to use toilet paper. I have to. I have to. I gotta clean myself. No, but we can use also water, right? I mean, we can wash.
Rana, what are you gonna do when you're gonna become a breatharian? What are you gonna use? Finger?
What?
When you're gonna become a breatharian, what then you'll be using? A finger?
No.
If you're not using toilet paper.
No, that's it. There's no more poo.
No need
Yeah,
to
but it's a
release.
me. You're still gonna be
I'm gonna what?
me. No.
What does that mean?
Pee, you said?
Pee?
Me, yeah.
I'm gonna. No, well, you don't necessarily. I don't.
If
think
you're off of
there's-
liquids, you won't be urinating.
Yeah. You won't be urinating as much,
Right.
at least. There's the 60 plus, I think, or 70-year breatharian yogi.
Doesn't
who-
urinate.
He doesn't urinate. Doesn't go.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you can watch yourself. I mean, I was just making a joke. You can use water to wash. You don't need to use toilet paper. And
It's
and
good. It's good for laugh.
It's good.
Yeah, we had.
Keep it clean. That's for sure. Keep it clean. Whatever you do.
We had a breatharian pass away recently. Daryl
Oh,
Braun, his last name?
Daryl Brown.
Brown.
But
Yeah,
he
he
was
was-
not completely breatharian.
He was doing it through sun gazing for about 9 years or so. Basically, he would have an espresso once in a while, something like that. But he was basically on no food, no liquids for many years. And he ran into some challenges. I don't know what happened. He ended up actually being taken to a mental institute recently as well. And then his kidneys started giving him problems.
He was in the hospital for
yeah, he was in the
care.
hospital. Once you go into there, and then he
His
passed
kidneys-
away.
his
So
kidneys
we
were not
blessed our
so good.
brother. He was an awesome guy, very enlightened, very. I got a lot of wonderful communications with him, and he actually reached out to me a few weeks before he passed. And I'm going, Daryl, I've never worked with anybody who doesn't eat at all. I don't know. This is what we're doing. And then I never heard back a response. So he passed.
He
So
probably, but towards the end, I think after the hospital, I think he went back to food. Maybe.
I don't know.
We don't know much.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened exactly. But you know, a lot of people will pass trying to go breatharian and they're just not ready. It's a whole, you really have to be at a whole new understanding to be able to live on just, you know, prana, plasma, energy fields. Um, most of us will not go down that route, but we can do it part-time. And we can expand on that, and that's what we're about. To do liquidarian, a lot of people will go that route, stay on liquids. But to go without liquids, very few will do that. More and more will, but very few will go
Yeah,
that
but it
route.
doesn't sound impossible.
It's not impossible. Everything's
There are
possible.
many people who are doing it and
Everything's
teaching
possible.
it. And Darryl was teaching it, but I'm not sure how long he was off food and liquid for.
9 years.
For 9 years, he was off food and liquid because he was having coffee not too long ago, right?
Yeah, every once in a while he'd have an espresso, whatever that means.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I don't know much, honestly. I don't know much about his history with food.
Anyways, I'm just.
I know that he was teaching.
We
Brazilian.
elevate his soul, you know, and hopefully he's dancing with the stars in those realms and enjoying himself.
Yeah, he had a tough time towards the end for the past.
Yeah, he
months.
was down in the desert and he got everything robbed from him. He went through some challenges this past 6 months.
And then ended up in the hospital. And I think from that time on, he was not doing very well, health-wise.
But you know, this is why we are so adamant of people just follow the protocol. It's a lot of years and experience and many wonderful teachers that we've learned from and wisdom behind what this is. We didn't pull it out of a hat. It's the information came through for a reason, for whoever's ready to make the transformation. The road is simple to follow, and we have so many tools. So that's all. Follow the system, and you'll be fine. Once you start gaining more and more trust in your soul, you'll come to the understanding through your experiences. And we keep saying that over and over because talk to the people who are living it, and they'll repeat the same thing. You start coming to the understanding through the experiences. There's just no way you can explain and have somebody understand it. You gotta go through it. You gotta go through it. So it's wonderful.
Hey, Ron, I was going to ask you, after I do the mini MFS, and then in March, I want to do the long MFS. I want to go long. I mean, there's a pool to go longer than 108 days for 2019. Might be different in 2020. But I don't know if I'm putting pressure on my body. I don't think I am, because I just talk to the soul. So I feel I want to go longer.
You go with the trust and just move along with that, you know. Marin was the only one who told me I'm not going back to food, and he's in his 3rd year. He's the only one.
Okay.
So, who do we have? Carl and his brother did 100. They did 6 months, 180 days. No.
6 months, yeah, 180.
It's more than 180. Anyway, they did 6 months, and you know, there's a few people did a little more than 108 days and whatever. But once you've eaten the food from after a long MFS, a full MFS, you have a whole new understanding what food is, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you're still learning. It's a week now that you've been eating.
Yeah.
Once you start getting into a few weeks of food, you're going to see a little bit more differences. And if you decide to go to the weekly, it'll be better because Um, Going back to a large amount of physical foods is another huge, massive change to the physicality, mental and emotional bodies. And that's why people start going cuckoo in their emotions, because it's one huge shift to clean out, and then there's another huge shift to try and plug themselves back up again. And it's a huge roller coaster ride, but it's all good experience unless people start going into really heavy obstructive foods where they kill themselves, and they will kill themselves. That's where people kill themselves. They don't kill themselves with fasting, they do it with food. So if you in your heart and soul understand that, you know, you're okay with eating very, very small amounts or nothing, just stay on liquids, you can do it. Martin's doing it. He's showing us the way. He's done it before us. Not that it's a race or anything, but he was in a state where I can't go back to food. I'm going to die. They almost killed me, which they almost did. 13 surgeries, 4 years chemo, 4 types of cancer.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't want to go back to food, but that's his decision.
Yeah.
He's afraid, maybe.
Yeah, but there's no need to go back. He started putting muscle on a
Yeah,
few months ago.
whatever it is, of course,
Started
nobody
putting
has
muscle.
to go back to eating. It's completely personal decision, but I don't know why he made it's amazing big decision. You know, like it's not easy to decide. I'm not gonna eat.
I hope I've asked him to do another interview now. That's a little while,
Oh, cool.
years later. So
Did
we
you
can,
ask him recently?
yeah.
Mm.
So when he's ready, to share.
That's
The
awesome.
only thing is, poor fellow, he got attacked by so many people telling him that you're lying and all this stuff. Like, what the hell? 3,000 people. He was at a clinic, cancer clinic. They're all dead. He's the only one alive. They're all dead. I think he must have been doing something.
He was also attacked. He said on Facebook and stuff, like messages and stuff.
Yeah. So it's a challenge living this lifestyle, no matter how you look at it. When you're healing, you get attacked. When you're sick, you get it's just embrace it all and move on. Don't worry about other people. It's not your problem. It's their problem. It's their problem. Nothing to do with you. It's their physical body is such in a mess. They're not listening to their soul banging on their head. Wake up, buddy. This is your wake up call. Why aren't you listening? And
well, when you're
disturbing to them.
When you're a drug addict, you have no feelings.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you're plugged up, you're getting these feelings. They're not correct. Just like a drug addict. Oh, I got to listen to my body. I need more heroin. So that means your body's telling you correct information? Yeah, I need more heroin. I don't feel good when I don't do it. So this is where I'm talking about, where I was talking about earlier. When your body's full of obstructions, it's not going to give you the correct information. It just can't. It's just wrong field interactions, and with all that interference of the gunk in our body.
So Ranjit, I have first of all, you're doing amazing. You really are doing a great job breaking your fast, and not to have the cravings intensely coming back. You're doing it very spiritually. The way you're breaking it.
Yeah.
You're present with the food. You're praying. So your emotions are calm, because sometimes when you are you have responsibilities and this, and you're stressed in life, and you don't have the time or the patience, or you don't put the effort that you're putting. You're doing amazing. You really are doing amazing. Breaking the fast. The majority of people are a little bit, they don't have this emotional like calmness. It's important to be calm. So somehow we want to start learning how to be calm emotionally. And one thing is to meditate and pray to calm yourself down, and of course keep fasting, even a little bit. The other thing is you're asking about Master Fast Weekly. I honestly feel Master Fast Weekly is very close in terms of intensity, like in terms of power, to the full Master Fast. I feel it's quite close. It's not too far. At least for me, I do colonics. I don't know how it is with enemas. but the day after I eat, I wash my colon. So it's pretty clean, you know, after one day of eating. So the food is not there for more than 12 hours in my body. And then 12, you know, even 24 hours, it's not more than 24 hours in my body. And then it's out, it's washed. And so the cravings also go away with that. You know, whatever I ate is washed and the cravings go away. And the determination is still strong, especially after a few weeks of making it a habit. You become stronger. The first, like on Monday, I had intense cravings. I was close to breaking. On Monday, when I was at work, after I ate, the day after I ate, um, I was just thinking about food. I'm like, I'm gonna kill somebody. I need to eat. You know, I'm like, I need to eat. I don't care about anything. I want to eat. And of course, when I'm thinking about eating, I don't have the foods around me, so I'm not prepared. So that's not a good thing, you know. Like somehow you want to get over this emotional imbalance. And I heard someone talk about this, a Britarian actually. She's I think 2 years or something less than 2 years, and she was saying that whenever you have these fears, you know, say thank you. Say thank you, because this is your chance. Your chance to let them go, you know. This is your chance to let them go.
Write them down.
It is so hard, but of course this is our chance, you know, when we are so stressed out, to do it and let it go. um and yeah, I don't know how, but somehow it went. I just kind of ignored it and I didn't eat. So after a few weeks you will feel stronger to do it. You'll feel, okay, now I'm strong. I don't care. Nothing affects me. I'm not hungry at all, ever. I'm just eating for pleasure and it's fun.
Yeah, the emotion roller coaster ride is, you really need to pull out your strength and like write them down. What's coming up? Write them down. The power of the pen is magical. To manifest it and then burn it and let it go. And you may have to do that several times. It's a good technique. But one thing I've talked about this on Wednesday about what's been triggering me. This past year has been a huge challenge with my mother. When I see her in pain, it drives me to eat. It's at the higher level. I'm trying to take on her pain. That's what I'm trying to do. And you know, it's not an easy thing. Is when you have, especially a parent, it's not an easy thing with those emotional roller coaster rides. It's a huge challenge, and this is where I can see why so many people have all these challenges. When you're out on your own, go out in the wilderness, and nobody there, believe me, it's a whole different experience. When you're bombarded with other people's emotions, it's going to affect you. Environment dictates outcome. Environment external, environment internal dictates outcome. So you're going to have to work with it, and we're going to have to do the best we can. We all have these challenges. None of us are superhuman. So let's work with it. Let's come to the understanding, you know, intent and emotion is creation. Intent and emotion is creation. So we need to work with that new understanding. And when these emotions come up, write them down. So for me, what I just shared, what's triggering me is the higher level to try and take on my mother's pain. So when an emotion comes up, think of it in terms of higher order. What's going on? Why are these emotions coming through? You know, some trauma happened, this, that, the other thing. There's a million things it could be. But if you start not analyzing, but asking the correct questions, you're going to get your answers. And you'll start being able to release it more and more and more to allow it to flow and balance out. You know, like yesterday and today was such a relief to not see my mother in pain with those headaches. Like I'm just, I'm going, oh man, I hope this stays.
It's hard to be around somebody who is complaining about their pain all the time. It's really hard. Yeah.
So, you know, we're all going through this stuff. We got to do the best we can in the situations we're in. And we're all here to support each other, inspire each other. If we don't have this connection, where would you be? All on your own, running back to your fridge.
You know, I mean, we said this earlier that it's much easier to face your emotions when you're fasting than when you're eating. So dealing with your family is much easier when you're fasting versus when you're eating. So yeah. So yes, we're trying to take somebody else's pain or this or that, but we can do better.
Always. You're not going to go worse. We're going to go better. Otherwise, keep doing what you're doing. You know, this is the definition of insanity. Keep doing what you're doing, expect different results. You got to keep moving on and expanding so to try and better ourselves, to bring more balance in our lives. As we bring balance in our lives, we help all our ancestors bring balance. This is the beauty of working with higher order and creation itself. You know, working with matter doesn't matter.
Yeah, I find it really hard taking care of older people at this time. I think it's really hard for us to care for our parents because we are different. We are not going through the same thing, and I don't know. It's really hard because like you're trying to help them, but they don't want to change, but they want to complain. But like, so what's the solution? You're just gonna sit down and be surrounded by negativity at the end of the day. You know, like I see this with older people sometimes. Um, at least you know, do whatever you want. I don't care. But you know what? Don't complain to me because you know I can see this all the time. I see it also with some clients. They're older and they're complaining. I mean, nobody can help you.
But yourself.
Nobody can help you. I don't care how many call. I mean, you try to come here for a calling, but how is that going to help you? Like I have a client. She's trying. She can't move her bowels, and she's she has a big tumor. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. Nobody can help you. You must do it. It makes me really, yeah.
They're not willing to do whatever it
but
takes.
you know what? It's a
no matter
client,
what.
and clients, I don't care. You know, they're coming, they're paying for the service, and they get it. But when it comes to, because we know their kids, you know, we know, like for example, Gino and his mom, for example, it's again, I see the same thing happening. The parent is complaining, they're not changing, and the kids are suffering. And I don't think that's fair. I think it's important for every parent to take responsibility for themselves. I don't care how old you are. It's important, just like we do, they must too. They can't expect their kids to take care of them because they can't. They're not going to be able to do it for them.
No such thing as can't. I am taking care.
Yeah, you can only do so much though. Yeah, and thank God she's not complaining now. Thank God.
No. Parents are interesting, aren't they? Because they've got 4 kids and we're all around them and we all support them, we all care for them, but they still complain. And I said to my dad yesterday, I said, you need to really be thinking about how grateful the situation you're in. I said, you have a look at other families and the kids aren't there. And I said, you've got 4 kids, 6 grandchildren that all love you, care for you. We're always here. He's a recovering alcoholic and we're trying to get him in, it's difficult, but the parents in that, I don't know if it's cultural or not, there's an expectation they have of their children. And you go, well, you got to really put the mirror back to them. Like what you're saying, Rana, the mirror has to go back to you because you're ultimately 100% responsible for your soul and your way you want to live. And complaining nature, I still think it comes from the legal system, the paradigm we live in, that, we always complain about the weather. We always complain about this and that. There's this normal conversation about complaining. And I think if you're aware as a person and someone complains, you've got choices. You either just walk away or you reflect the mirror back to them because they're just talking about themselves. So when my dad was talking about complaining about his kids, I had to pull him up and say, look, you've got to realise you've got poor children who are in their late 40s and into their 50s that have taken time and energy to be with you in your space, which is negative, and listen to you. And you've got to pull the mirror back onto them. Anyone in any relationship, children or wherever, why are you watching the TV? They watch TV, and it just drives me crazy every time I go over, because it's all complaints. Then he goes, oh, why is this? He lives in fear. And I said, well, the reason you live in fear is because you have a look at the influence of information that's coming in your ear. You're looking at news, which is just full of entertainment, and it's not real. It's not the truth. They're just wanting to persuade you to go a certain way. Who owns the news media? Who's the shareholders? As you said before, Rana, we live in an economic system. You just got to get back to the core. And if you choose to go back to the core of the soul, then that's where your real answers are, rather than the core of these organisations. And this is where these people are entrapped, like our parents, and they believe everything on TV and they believe everything in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do. Only thing is you can confront them and just say, this is what I believe, if you want to. Don't have to do it with everybody, or just walk away, because you've got to protect yourself first and your soul first, and fill yourself up, and then love on them. And it's a tough one, real tough one.
My mother's watching the news all day. I'm going, what do you watch this stuff? It's garbage. It's only going to make you feel worse. Today she was watching some Italian comedian. I go, and they're laughing. I haven't seen her laugh in so long. So I go, watch this all day. If you're going to watch TV, watch that. Because laughter's the best medicine. But nobody wants to be responsible. It's his fault. I gotta go sue him. It's just their fault. It's their fault. Wait till the judgment day comes. Who's gonna judge you? Your soul knows all. Even there's nobody to judge you. You're gonna face your soul. Why did you do all this to these people? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? You knew that it's not kosher. Why are you doing these things? Why are you blaming other people? So, there's going to be a big wake-up call for a lot of us for the things we've done. But, now we've got this understanding. You need to be totally responsible for everything in your life. Because if you point fingers, you will never find balance in this realm or the other realms. Never. That I can assure you. If you don't take responsibility, that's the number one key. And be the giver, because that is a law of creation. The plasma love will not flow. You'll get into those stagnation. I see some people, they do this massive fast and everything, and they're feeling great, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. They're starting to point fingers left, right, and center. It's because they're missing the basic principles. The gift of giving, sharing this, that, and the other thing, and not living through the art of subtraction. The less is more. They're just not doing that, and taking full responsibility. And those are the main issues, the main principles of creation that we need to come to the new understanding. If we don't, we're not going to find balance. You'll start to feel better for a bit, and the balance will not be there. It won't be there. You can watch. I've seen it over and over and over. And this is where we all have to stand up to the plate. It's my fault. I'm going to change it. And I'm the only one who can change it. So this is, the emotion, seed of all. And plasma love is the most powerful of all the emotions, because it is the creation itself, and it's what brings the balance. So that is what we all can thrive to work towards, making those deposits in the plasma bank, in the MFS plasma bank. It's a realm for everybody to tap into.
Praying
keep
for each other.
making those deposits. That's all we're doing, is we're praying for each other. And as we're praying for each other, what happens? The gift of giving, you can receive. This is that concept that is so difficult for a lot of us to understand and tap into. And once we do, your whole life will change. You'll never, ever be the same person again. Never. It's an impossibility when you live on these basic principles that we've just talked about. And that's the beauty of creation. It's always forgiving. You can always resort back to balance when you choose. No matter how far away from balance you are, you can always come back to balance. No matter how much darkness you try and put out the light of a little candle, impossibility. Impossibility. You can't put out the light of a little candle no matter how much darkness. All the darkness of the universe, you can't put out that candle. That's what we're talking about. The power of the light, which is where we come from, what we really truly are. And I guess we can come to a close. We're at 2 hours. But these are the talks I like to do the most. The physical stuff, you know, fasting, doing the pudding, that's the simple stuff. You know, even dogs can do it.
Dogs are connected too.
We got animals doing it, and they're doing wonderfully. That the transformation from Rosie, I think that's the first dog that did the 108 full MFS, isn't it? Or was there another one?
No,
Yeah, I think that was the first dog.
the one and only.
Yeah, you know.
I love these conversations too. It just enlightens my soul. That's all I want to talk about.
Yeah,
You know, that's me. You know, I just love it. It's just too good, too yummy, too nice, too such a blessing to live this way. Love these conversations.
yeah, it brings a charge, that vitality. It boosts you, and this is what we're here to support and inspire each other for, so we can continue on this path that is so controversial in our societies and so against the grain. You know, look in Argentina, they just passed a law that you have to be vaccinated to get your driver's license passport. Talk about slavery. Yeah. Insanity. What are the people doing? Are they lining up, or are they going to change it? The power's in the people. Power's in the people. You know, like look what's going on in France. You know, people are standing up. This is what we need to see. Through peaceful ways, always through peaceful ways. We don't have all the answers, but the answers are in plain sight. Once you step back and have a look with the proper questions, the answers will come. And you know,
They're inside.
I'm no different than anybody else. All this information came through many fasts, and it continues to flow as I fast. When I eat, the information doesn't really flow for me. That's me. Some people, it continues when they eat, but for me, when I get into the fast, oh yeah, okay, thank you. And that's why I continue to fast.
You know.
Sorry?
Same with me.
Yeah. So I'm one of those that needs to be on the fast to gain the access. Yeah. So anybody else?
To bed.
Look at Inga. She's in a whole different time zone. Like, what was it, 1 o'clock in the morning there?
2.
And she's still here, and she comes here so often. Like, talk about commitment. This is what you really got to do. I'm sorry that we can't, you know, but you can make up your sleep time and everything. If we could all be on the same time, but time is another illusion. But you know, we still have to function within this illusionary clock in our different time zones and so on and so forth. But all is well. All is well.
Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you. And
Thank you too.
for sharing your wisdom. Thank you so much.
All right, so we'll call it a night or a day, wherever you are.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you so much.
Night.
Keep that plasma love flowing, and I hope that we can help bring balance to so many more people by what we're doing. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Ciao.
Love you. Bye.
Just quickly, next week, can we talk about what our goals are for 2019? Like, I know Inga's always on here. I'm here. Margaret comes on.
Do we have anything next week?
Let me see.
We haven't been booking a lot because there's so much going on too.
Yeah, next week we have, next week and the week after we do have 2 people.
We have interviews. Yeah, well, keep it a thought.
But you know what? Maybe at the end of the interview, if it's short.
Yeah, because I'll hear Inga's, I want to hear other people's, I want to hear them so that I can help them to achieve that in the other dimension. So I want to hear it. Yeah.
Great idea.
Okay.
It's Mariam's interview, so we can maybe ask her at the end if we can share. Yeah.
Love it.
Oh.
Love you guys.
All right, guys. Good night. Good day. Ciao, ciao.